Hey guys, I want to welcome you back to my channel. Today is a video that I know I need to share, that I think is important to share, and I also think that it's important to take my particular video with a grain of salt. This is actually going to be the start of a series of videos taking you through what it's like to have depression and anxiety. What I like to call it, this cycle. And so for me, my depression and anxiety goes in cycles. And so I wanted to take you kind of from start to end of that particular cycle. The cycle is, for me, what it looks like a spiral. And so the cycle is circular, but then the fact that it's a spiral, it continues. So it's always moving and growing and ebbing and flowing. So just fair warning ahead of time, this may be a trigger for some who struggle with anxiety and depression. This may be helpful for someone who struggles with anxiety, depression. I have no therapeutic training whatsoever, so everything that's in my video is what works for me and not necessarily other people. But if it works for you, it works for you. But I just wanted to share my journey, not just for the benefit of those who struggle with anxiety and depression, but for also the friends and family of those who struggle with anxiety and depression. I think it's important, the more that you educate yourself as a family and friend, the easier it will be to help those with anxiety and depression. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope this video speaks to you in some way, shape, or form. But I wanted to kind of give an honest look of what depression actually looks like. It's taken a lot to hit the record button on this, but I know that videos like this from people who are going through it at the time has helped me in some ways to process what I'm going through and to be able to, just get back up on the horse again. So for me in particular, depression can be triggered by numerous different things and in numerous different ways. It can come in waves. It can come in, solid full days of not being able to function. I'm currently on day 2 of this particular depression cycle. I started out well yesterday morning, and then something happened, and and at this point it really doesn't matter what happened, because life happens, right? You can't stop life from happening. It's just kind of how you respond to the way life happens. And so life happened, and it really sent me on a downward spiral from there. I was, depressed most of the day. The good thing about yesterday, though, was that even though I was depressed and I didn't really function as much as I should have, I was still able to, number one, get dressed. And if you suffer from depression, you know that is extremely difficult, is to get up and get dressed and make your bed. And I was able to do that yesterday. Number two, I was able to cook dinner, eat dinner, have a functional conversation. And if you suffer with depression, you also know how difficult that is, to do the basic things in life. Today, I guess the victory is getting dressed. I'm dressed. I'm physically not in my pajamas while I am laying in bed, but I am dressed. But depression, for those of you that don't suffer with it, it's this overwhelming feeling of just blah, and I wouldn't say it's no motivation, but it's crippling to the point to where you can't function. That's really where I want to stress to you guys, is that if you don't know what depression is like, those who suffer with depression are almost crippled by the overwhelming feeling of blah. Basically, it ties their hands, it ties their feet, kind of ties their mind. For me, the way I used to cope with it all the time is I would turn on the TV and I would literally watch TV for 8 to 10 hours. And for me, it was just a method. That was a method of escaping what I felt. If I could immerse myself into a different world, which is what movies and TV shows provided, it provided me an escape from my current situation and my current feeling of blah. I have done that today and yesterday. Collectively, I've probably spent 8 hours watching, just binging on Netflix, binging on Hulu, kind of as an escape. I'm going to attempt to get up and do something that is actually due tomorrow, and try and get some things done and some things accomplished. And really, and if you've suffered with depression, you know this, really the only way to really pull yourself out of depression is you literally have to pull your body weight plus 200 extra pounds up a rope out of a deep hole. And that's what it feels like. It takes so much effort. It's exhausting. It's frustrating. It's annoying. I personally deal with an endless cycle of depression when it comes to getting stuck in that hole. I'm trying to give you guys a visual of this. It's like, I would say years ago before I started getting into therapy, I would go through depressive cycles where it would be literally a week of not being able to function, and then I would finally be able to pull myself out of that hole for a couple of days, get caught up on what I left or I lost that week, and then I would go immediately into a depressive cycle again. People who don't have depression don't understand that point of it, I guess. Why can't you just get up out of bed and just move on? Why can't you do this or why can't you do that? It sounds great and it sounds easy to say that, but it's not. It really isn't. You feel like you're stuck on this hamster wheel, or you feel like you're stuck in this hole that you can't get out of. And when you finally do get out of it, your footing is not good enough. You start to dust yourself off and then you fall back into the hole. For people who suffer with lifelong depression, they are walking through literally a minefield of these holes that they don't see coming, and they slip back in and fall back in and have to start that journey over again. I dare say people who suffer with depression and anxiety, and PTSD and all of those things, and I hate to say this because I don't want to call myself strong, because I'm not, but people who do suffer with it and are able to pull themselves out, or even manage to keep their head above water during their depressive state, are some of the strongest people out there, because it takes a lot of effort and a lot of strength to be able to manage your depression, or fake it till you make it, and then be able to move on without people noting. Personally, when I've suffered with depression, my husband didn't even know. It's only until I feel like I can't pull myself out on my own that I do tell him, like, hey, listen, I'm really struggling right now, and he sometimes doesn't know how to help, because I don't know how to tell him how to help. So that's just, it's one of those things. But whenever I do decide to actually publish this particular video, I think the goal of it really is not to say, oh, poor me, I suffer with depression. I'm not necessarily looking for sympathy or empathy. For me as an introvert, that's one of the things that terrifies me most, is people wanting to give me a hug. That's not what I need. That's not what I need at all. The purpose, I think, behind sharing this with you guys and sharing a look into basically day 2, which is the hardest day, because it's the day either you turn it around or the day that you slip further into it. To share with you guys my thoughts on day 2 of a depressive state is really to help other people know that they're not alone, that there's other people that suffer like this. I thought for so long I was just the only one. I thought everybody's lives were perfect. You know, everybody was able to function on a daily basis. That's one thing I covered in therapy was, she's like, what do you want to get out of this? I just want to function like a normal human being. You know, and I'm still struggling with that concept of there is no normal human being that functions every single day perfectly. But I think that by me sharing what I'm going through on a particularly bad day is going to help someone else with that concept as well. Hey guys, so I just finished editing this video, and you know, it didn't trigger me as much as I thought it was going to be. I knew editing this video was going to be difficult and hard, and so you know, I recorded this a few months ago, and it was in the midst of going through this pandemic, and so you know, it was one of those things that, you know, I thought could help other people. I will say, though, if you are suffering with anxiety and depression, I strongly encourage you to see a therapist. I strongly encourage you to find someone who's going to listen to you and hold the same values that you do. Secondly, if you are a family or a friend of someone who is going through depression and anxiety, I encourage you not to share this video with them. That's one of, like, personally, if I received this video, it would probably throw me into a deeper depression. But I want you to take from it what you will. Watch this video for you and for no one else, and learn lessons from it as you need to. Finally, one of the ways that you can support me and support my journey and my channel is to subscribe. I encourage you to subscribe to my channel. It's in the bottom right hand corner of the screen, the red button that says subscribe. And if you just click that, turn on the notifications so you're notified every single time I drop a video. That helps me more than you will ever know. Just getting those subscriptions. I have a goal of 1,000 subscribers. Right now I'm at 133, I believe. And so that in and of itself is support enough for me. And so other than that, I hope you guys have a good rest of the week, and I will see you guys next time. Want to see more? Subscribe here to my YouTube channel and turn on the notifications so you are notified every time I drop a video. You can also follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for all the latest updates and paintings. Thanks again so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.